Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Turning Base podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Redeker, and I am joined with Bryan Redeker, who it's been a minute. And hey, and we also have a very special guest. Brett Corter is a senior private aviation advisor focused on relationship-driven private aviation and international flight coordination. He works with clients, travel advisors, operators, and partners across multiple markets, helping manage complex private aviation requirements from sourcing through execution. Brett, welcome to the show.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you, Brett. Appreciate it.
So, how did you get your start in aviation?
So, long story short, I've always been interested in aviation. Growing up, I've been in sales for 20 years, and I had the opportunity to work with something I loved in childhood, and then pair it with aviation. You know what I mean? Like it's like a kind of a dream come true. So, super happy about it. It's very good.
Awesome. That's awesome. So can you, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about, as a senior private aviation advisor, what does your day-to-day look like? You were talking about you have no set schedule because sometimes you got to take calls at all different times of the day. Sometimes we're trying to do a podcast and you got to take a call and that those things happen. And I get that. So tell us a little bit about that.
So there is no set schedule. And again, I apologize, maybe a couple of minutes late, but what I like to say to anybody who's entering the space is, be ready for anything, because, if you're talking international traffic, you have to understand that, people are going to call you at all hours of the day. I'm talking to people, 12-hour difference in time zone, right? And they're respectful in terms of picking up the call, but I have to return the favor, right? And that's just how it works. And you have to be on point. You just have to make sure everybody is receptive and wants to work with you. And I think relationship building is the most important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Company I work for as well, international, and dealing with customers and internal customers, external customers that are in China, Japan, Australia, the Middle East, Europe, South America. Yeah, you get messages, calls, and have to kind of respond the best you can and make all that work. So I totally get what it's like to try to deal with different time zones.
Absolutely. And that's the nature of the game, right? I mean, I think that's the most important, to be receptive and understand that you're going to be working in different continents and all that sort of thing. So
Yeah, so kind of sticking with that whole international thing. So that this is an interesting topic that is something we really have not talked about on the podcast yet, which is kind of an exciting thing to have on today. So what are some of the hidden hurdles, permits, customs, clearances, all the things that, like, you think about one thing when you're in one country, but now you're talking different countries, different time zones, different rules. What are some of the things that are hidden in there that people wouldn't necessarily think about?
I think the most important thing is really having that network, talking with operators who work and having that interaction, that good faith. I really do believe that it's all about having the network, being able to call trusted members of your group, and then they can kind of handle it that way. I mean, it's all about trust. It's all about relationships. And when you develop that network, then it makes everything easier. I mean, it's about developing it.
Yeah, are there certain things when you're developing those networks and relationships in other countries that is different in building versus here in the U.S.?
What's the difference? Is that the question? You want to know? I think
Yeah, like what are some differences?
I would say domestically versus internationally, the difference in my mind would be, I think domestically, if you're in a position like me, it's a little bit saturated, and I think the best way is to move internationally, right? So then you gotta, make sure. I've had the luxury of traveling international, and I think that, I think good people. My biggest thing, I've said this for years, in different industries, good people know good people. So if you're able to connect with someone, it doesn't matter where you're from. Good people know good people. They're able to work together, and they try to find a solution. That's my biggest piece of advice. But in terms of domestic versus international, I mean, you just have to be polite. You have to be kind, and you have to develop a solution to their problem. Right? Show consistently that you're able to achieve the goal.
Now, Brett, do you do like for international? Do you do country to country internationally? So let's say if it was um, Brazil to Mexico or Germany to England, or are you primarily looking at international to the United States and United States outbound?
No, so I naturally organically fell into uh basically Europe and Africa and also Middle East, right? So organically I went to that space, and that's where I'm focusing right now.
Yeah, interesting. You brought up an interesting point there. We all work for companies, right? That's the what we do. We got to pay the bills, but at the end of the day, people do business with people. Like I heard that one time, and I'm like, man, it's so true. And when you talk about good people know good people, at the end of the day, we're people, and we want to do business with people and people we have good relationships with, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's the key. I don't care what you do for a living. Everybody's in sales in some way, right? Whether you're going out for, whether you're, a mechanic, it doesn't matter what you are. You're still in sales, but it's just different angle that you're taking, right? So, I'm a firm believer in kindness. I'm a firm believer in just getting to know who the person I'm talking to is before I make that initial call, because
Yeah.
let's face it, everybody's calling everyone, right? So how do you stand out in the crowd, essentially? What are you gonna do?
Hmm.
So it's just,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, it's fun. I like, sales is like a high stakes game to me, right? And so yes, of course I want to close the deal, but I also really love making that relationship. It's awesome. It's fun.
Yeah, and the relationship side, doing it international is a little bit different too, because you have to kind of be aware of your clients' customs, kind of their what matters to them, and understanding a little bit of their values and their interests and things like that. And that's kind of a fun thing. I've had to do the very same thing, and it's kind of exciting because you learn a lot about the person and about the country that you're dealing with where they live, and it's really fascinating to do that and build that relationship with people that in a normal day-to-day world you may not have an encounter with, but thanks to the business world, in international business, you have an opportunity to work with a lot of different people from different cultures and learn from them and take something back home with that.
100%. I mean, it's all about learning. Every sales call, again,
Hmm.
if you're talking, you're drawing information that you can use, not use, I guess, is a bad way to phrase it, probably, but you're drawing information that kind of uplifts your mindset and your knowledge base, and you learn from it. It's all good. It's a matter of getting into the company. That's the hardest part.
Yes, yes, that is the hard part. So
Yeah, yeah, it is. As the saying goes, getting your foot in the door, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
So do
you'd
you
also,
primarily work with companies then when you set this up? So it's company to company, or is it more on the individual level? Kind of high wealth, high value type individuals who are traveling internationally, or is it more of a business setup where it's like this international business needs to get some of their people over to this location, and you're coordinating that transportation?
Well, I'll tell you this. There are two different angles. That's a great question, actually. So you can target travel agencies, businesses who are high volume sending. What I like to do is I want to develop a relationship with an individual who wants to call me. I want to be the first person they think to call when they have an issue, like a mechanical, anything like that. So, in terms of like international, I would say for me right now, I'm more talking about acquisition, and obviously supply. So you have to have both in your wheelhouse in order to execute, right? But
Hmm.
certainly travel agencies are good, and you want to make good relationships with them as well, because then they're going to call you every time.
Yep. Right. Okay.
Yeah, that is interesting because I also know when we were emailing back and forth, you talked a little bit about the private luxury side. So, kind of as a follow up, there's the business to business, but then there's also the people that just want to go on a nice vacation. So, how
Right.
does that play into? There's probably some different things that are you got to take into account when you deal with that.
So the people, in my experience, and albeit limited, but in my experience, um, I feel that a lot of people who do travel private, uh, domestically, right, or going on vacation or going to Aspen or sit, um, a lot of them already have planes, right? So in order to
Mm-hmm.
reach out to them, you have to basically give them an option, because mechanicals happen, and you have to make
Hmm.
sure that you know you, you have an option, right? So again, call Brett Corter. That's pretty much it. Right? So no, so I mean, but that's kind of the mindset. That's exactly what
Hmm.
I do. I mean, I want to be that go-to guy. And then again, domestically speaking, like if you're going to Vegas, you're going to LA, I'm based in um New York City, and I think it's important, just to have. It's always good to have someone reliable in your back pocket, right? You can call
Yeah.
anytime. Okay. I mentioned that in the beginning. My wife doesn't really like it, but um, but I'll take a call at 3 o'clock. And she's like, "Oh," rolling her eyes at me. I'm like, "Okay, well." But I'm that guy. It's about loyalty, and it's about respect, and making
Hmm.
sure that I have a good resource.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
for
because
when you travel internationally with time zones and everything else, sometimes getting a hold of like your home office, if you're traveling on the other side of the world, can be extremely difficult. And yeah, having a contact person that you can go to directly at any time of the day when you need help, because yeah, typically the problems come up when they're the least opportune times.
Yeah.
And so having a contact person is a huge help.
Believe me, I know all about it. I got a call. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but a funny story that actually ties right into that is, I got a call. I was having dinner. It was 8 p.m. Got a phone call from one of my clients, uh, and it was one of their clients in Argentina who needed to leave ASAP, and it was they called me 8 p.m. and I was able, just working my network because of developing these relationships. I got them off the ground at 9 a.m. So, it's like 13 hours, something like that, or to 11 hours. Right, is believe me, I was up all night doing it, but I got it done. So
Yeah, it's dedication, but when you love what you're doing, and your customers value what you are doing, it makes a night like that doable. If you didn't love it, you wouldn't be doing
yeah,
it.
you wouldn't do it.
100%, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, we've had some other guests on here, and one of the common themes that we hear over and over again is the AOG problem, and they do happen. And so having that backup, and yeah, I could see where even if you own your own plane, an AOG problem is could come up. So who are you going to
Center.
call? What are you going to do?
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I've had business trips that the plane breaks down, and uh, both commercially and private, when the jet breaks, and you got high value people that need to get in certain locations. When the plane isn't working, it's a bad day. And trying to get
Yeah,
around that can be very difficult. And that would have been a prime example where we really could have leveraged a go-to person to take care of the situation, and get us another aircraft quickly to move the people where they needed to be at.
no, I mean, that's awesome. That's good. That's the philosophy, right? That's what it's all about. It's about being reliable, being honest, open, and you know, just like, you know, putting your best foot forward, I guess is the best way to phrase it, right? I love airplanes. I love helping people be in the service industry. I've been in tech, been everything, but this is my genre. I love it. It's my niche.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We get that. Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Brian and I, we both grew up around airplanes, our entire life, and we love it. And it's actually exciting because it's air show weekend here where we're at, and so I'm actually at an office at the airport, and I can hear some of the planes running,
That's too cool.
and they're warming up because the show, it's an evening show tonight, so they're starting to warm up, and it's been fun hearing some Texans and the P-40 and stuff flying around right now.
That's too cool, man. I love it. I need to get myself out there and watch one of the shows. But so yeah, I'm
It's
not
always
kidding.
fun. So
Yeah, yeah. No, it's very cool.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit jealous. I'm not gonna lie. So it's
It's sometimes hard to work when you have that going on. I have my radio next to my computer yesterday and today, and listening so I could hear when they're gonna go practice and when they're gonna go do things. And I'm like, oh yeah, wait, I actually have to keep working.
yeah, too cool. That's good.
Brian, I know you got to drop at some point, so whenever you
I was
need
just
to.
checking the time here, and it's I have to I got another meeting I gotta prep for. But Brett, it was nice meeting you today, and I'll let you guys carry on as
Yeah, we'll
needed.
keep going.
But thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate
Such
the
a
opportunity
pleasure.
to talk with you today.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll
so
see you guys.
we'll
I
keep
gotta
going.
drop.
Yep. See you later, Brian. Thanks for joining us. All right. I think we got a couple more minutes here. Let's have a couple fun questions. So you've kind of handled international travel and coordination in different countries. What do you have, like a favorite airport or luxury destination to coordinate flights in and out of?
Dubai is my favorite, without question. I love
Dubai.
Dubai.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Dubai. I mean, I work internationally, and I'm out of all places. Greece is great. I love Greece. I love Europe. Dubai is my favorite, though. I have a lot
Okay.
of strong relationships in Dubai.
Interesting. Okay. There's a TV show that my kids watch about like uh, big airports, and actually my son, his favorite episode is the Dubai airport episode, and he's just like, someday he's like, I want to fly through Dubai, I want to see that airport. It is impressive. So is there anything specific about Dubai that makes it your number one place?
I think the culture, honestly, Dubai has such a great culture and such a great, people I do speak with, they are so welcoming, so nice, so receptive to what I have to say. And, you know, I've made a lot of connections.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
That's really
it is
cool to
awesome.
hear.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love it.
I'm not gonna
Honestly,
lie,
I
I'd
mean,
like to go to
they're such
Dubai.
nice. Yeah, they're such nice people. They're receptive. They're smart. They have I've been invited out to Dubai a couple times from some of my clients, and it's totally cool. I just have to make sure that, we can go out there at the right time. But again, I travel
Sure. Yeah.
internationally. Yeah, so it's fun.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish the aviation or general public understood better about private aviation and what you do?
So the biggest thing is that I think there's a misunderstanding with the general public about how unreachable private aviation is. It's
Mm-hmm.
attainable, and it's not inexpensive, but it's about time. It's about using your time the right way, and it's about having that luxury of, if you're a little bit late to a flight, you don't have to go through TSA 9 times out of 10, right, which is a pain. We all know.
Yes.
We all know.
Yes.
Um, and it's about luxury, time constraints. I think that's the most important.
Okay. Yeah. Um, all right. So if you had a free pass to step onto the ramp and jump into any plane to go somewhere, what are you flying in?
Well, I'm gonna fly in a Citation 10 because
Citation 10. Okay.
It's a cool plane. It's fast, it's fun, it's good.
That's
Um,
awesome.
no, I love it. It's the best. It's
That's
my
awesome.
favorite, personally.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting question that we get, between, the different private jets. And then, of course, everybody loves to throw in like, well, an F-16 or an SR-71, right? So
Oh, well,
those are
I'm not rejecting that idea. I would totally do that, but
right.
yeah, no, Citation 10 is great.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, Brett, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing with us a little bit about private aviation and the international side of things, which was a lot of fun to learn about. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, again, thank you for having me on. It's such a pleasure to meet and talk to you about it a little bit. But best way to reach me is absolutely LinkedIn. I'm most
Okay.
active on that. And it's Brett Corter. And you can find me on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. Everybody watching and listening, thanks for tuning in again this week to Turning Base, and we will catch you next time on the Turning Base podcast. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Fly safe.
Thanks for flying with us on Turning Base. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your team. Want more tips and tools for marketing your aviation business? Visit us at readymarketing.net. Until next time, keep your wings level, your message clear, and your altitude high.